that were better than several players in your main roster, they would replace them and account for your point total, which meant that teams with, their best players maybe aren't as available, they couldn't replace those players effectively. They couldn't actually have someone in the wings to cover them if need be. So now we are moving to a system, as long as the roster you submit is within the point cap for every single game, it doesn't matter what substitutes you have. You can now have up to 4 substitutes for your roster in total, and they do not account towards your point total. One more change that we're making, Summer Invitational 2026, is schedule days. So we are removing the schedule days that we used to use because they took 8 months at a time. Just be clear, submitted time for your game to occur by midweek, so by Wednesday midnight, then your game will be assumed to be occurring on Sunday at 7 p.m. BST. And if that fails to happen, the team whose most players is present will be given the forfeit. This is, we feel, an arbitrary system to prevent delays where we had several games happening over into the previous one. So make things complete a little bit more rigid. So in winter we had hard caps based on which rank you had achieved as opposed to your LP peak, and this was not a great gauge of how good some people were, because some people would get Grandmaster or Challenger early in the season when the LP barrier to get to that was lower, and so there were players who were ranked lower in our point system. The one that was supposed to be GM in the previous system, and then we have, I think it goes 801 to 1200 and 1201 onwards as essentially treating that like champion. So it's a little bit more of a static system, it's a little bit more forgiving for people who choose to climb earlier on in the season than what we were doing before. Although that's enough for the rule set changes. Now I'm going to introduce back to Dark Lord Aaron to tell you guys about the summer format changes.
Thank you, Day Zero. So, the format for the Summer Invitational 2026, we like the single round robin. I think you like the single round robin from the winter. So we're going to keep that for the group stages, and that's going to go into the playoffs just like into the finals, which will be Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So let's just quickly go over that. Group stages will be roughly 4 to 5 weeks going into the playoffs, which will be 3 weeks, followed by finals, which will be the 21st of August at around 7 o'clock BST, 22nd August at around about 5 BST, and then Sunday, that's the 23rd of August, also around that 5 BST. Those times are fixed. This isn't like previous tournaments where it's wishy-washy going all over doing this time. These are fixed times, just like with the rules, a bit restricted, just to add some rigidity.
And with that, those are all of the changes that we have planned for Summer Invitational 2026. We are bigger than we have ever been. We are continuing to grow, finally, much to the chagrin of Jerry, who won't be getting one of these because he got banned, unlucky, we do finally have trophies. We're doing some. We are growing, we're building, it's like Minecraft or something. We're doing something right. But stay tuned, everybody. Make sure that if you are interested, get yourselves in the Discord server. There will be a link below, or if our massively impressive editor Eunice wants to, you can put a QR code directly above our heads. Somewhere here, there will be a QR code you can scan to get you into the Discord. And get yourself signed up. We will see all of you on, I believe, June 22nd for the team draft, and then June 29th for the actual official beginning of Summer Invitational. So I think that's everything from us. Yep. I had to fight a massive urge to not mock Hugo, but you know what? I'm better than that now. I don't need to mock people anymore. I'm trying my hardest. Thank you everybody for watching. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to MiniLCS Summer Invitational 2026 on the one and only motherfucking channel, and that is the League of Shat-Hap. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the playoffs right now. This is Sweatlords. This wasn't meant to happen this week. This was meant to be next week. I'm not prepared for this. This is too much. But it's here. And this is double elimination, as it was said in the video, if you did hear it. And if you didn't hear it, why didn't you watch it on YouTube? Go watch it on YouTube right now at MiniLCS YouTube channel. Give us a view, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Subscribe to this for this epic content. But yes, this is double elimination. We are in. This is a round of 8 selection right now, so the winner from this will go off into the quarterfinals, and the loser will go into the loser round 1. So they have another chance here. And today, as you saw, we have Lucidity Red versus Big Bad Buttercups. 2, I believe, new teams to the MiniLCS. I could be absolutely wrong there. I have no second producer to check me because he's on the tube. So enough of me rambling. I'm going to hand it over to your 2 casters. Today we have from London town, we have Mike, or Mad Meisley, color casting. He was here for the Winter Open finals, and with him from across the pond again, finally out of the weenie hut casting bracket, we have Shadow. So welcome, gents.
How's everyone doing today?
Hello.
And by the way, it's Mad Miles
I'm doing
here.
good. How are you?
There's no mic there. But yeah, what are we expecting today? That's my question.
I'm expecting a really good series. I mean, obviously, these 2 teams fought hard to get here. I mean, it's playoffs. It's easy to say, hey, higher seed's the favorite, but in playoffs, everything's different. It's different energy, different level. You're pulling out some strategies that you did not pull out in the regular season. Things like that. So I can't pick a favorite here. I'm just hoping for some good freaking League of Legends. It is a best of 3. So,
of course.
I mean, not too much room for error, just like the regular season. But
yeah, I think that's basically what we have
one
to.
game buffer.
Exactly, and they at least get another chance if they screw up. Like, I guarantee, like, they want to go on a flawless run. So obviously they don't want to go down the other bracket, but regardless, they still do get another chance. They're not just going home with nothing. So I'm really curious on how this game's going to go. I'm looking forward to some good League of Legends. It's a Friday night, and I think everybody deserves a good game tonight.
And that's fair. I'm really excited to see how everything turns out here, as I mean, it's the first of all the playoff matches, and it's a Sweatlords bracket game. That means this is going to be intense. There's not a lot of room for error. I mean, I've been stuck in the weenie hut, and I mean, there's a lot of room for error over there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was commentating there myself last season, so you know. But you know, it's a fresh start. It's a fresh tournament. There's no weenie hut in here, so we can actually hope for some strong and good execution. I'm really looking forward to seeing the compositions in comparison to what weenie hut I had before. Like weenie hut, a lot of it was very direct. Keep it simple. Don't make things too complicated. But they made those not too complicated things way too complicated. Strange picks coming out, objectives missed. I'm just thinking, you know, what if I look back at this, considering I'm not exactly the highest ranked player myself, how would I reflect on it? How would I be able to get better at the game? And I think with people at this bracket at the top level, we're going to be seeing some good League of Legends. And anyone who's in low rank who's watching this, make sure you pay attention to what they do. You might actually learn something yourself.
Definitely could learn something new, or you could sit there and say, hey, those guys make the same mistakes I do, that means it's okay for me to do it. I don't know, that's kind of how I sit here sometimes. Hey, he wasted his ult, that means it's okay if I do it. And then
yeah, even though it's like three minute one. Okay, we've gone straight. Wow, that was really quick.
Right into the draft, and immediately we see some interesting picks coming out. The Malphite
really
top, the Swain mid, the Kane jungle. Or sorry, is that Swain ADC? That is Swain ADC, or should be. I'd be a bit more surprised to see an Ari
partnered up with the Nautilus. Ari, if that was picked on
Corky.
R2. That was picked on R2. In all fairness, Ari is one of the safest blind pick mid laners, like just in general. So we'll have to see what they're going to do with this composition. On blue side, it's very, very interesting to see a Corky in ADC. Like out of everything, I do think Corky is still a good champion, but in comparison to other picks, I was expecting something a little bit different.
Real quick, I love that it's the wrong caster picture for you on the chat.
I don't look like
you
that.
Look a little different today.
Yeah, somehow. Yeah, I think that might
yeah, but looking into it is going to be interesting. I'm especially interested in this top lane. The Gnar should be winning, but the Malphite's job isn't necessarily that he has to win lane. He's just going to be a frontline tank and press the R button. And,
yeah, that's the thing. He just wants to survive the lane.
This is going to be interesting.
He just wants to survive the lane and then just use his initiation with that ultimate. But how are they going to react though? They've got the Zinzao, they've got the Braum's going to play a huge role in this game, especially against the Malphite, against the Nautilus as well. The ultimate was also fantastic against Malphite. But the Swain as well is a pick that I'm really interested in, to be honest. Like, to see a bot lane Swain, it's not really something I see every day anymore, and it's going to be interesting.
Well, to be honest, I don't like the Swain too much into this matchup. I like the Swain normally when there are two frontline tanks on the other team, but there's not really even a hard dedicated tank. Like when you're facing something like a Mundo, a Malphite, a Trundle, yes, you can sit there and stack your ultimate. You're facing a Gnar and a Zinzao. I mean, yes, those are frontline, but it's gonna be a lot harder to just get value out of his ultimate. So I actually do not like the Swain pick here. Maybe it is something that he feels a lot more confident on, so maybe I'm going to be pleasantly shocked. And of course, the Mel being there could cause some issues, but there's not a lot to really reflect. I mean, just looking around, what are you reflecting? I mean, obviously you can reflect some hooks, some charms, the Swain pole, but there's not a lot here, and so I actually don't love the
that's not really going to be that
much.
Yeah, I mean,
well, Mel can basically reflect anything. Maybe she can reflect the Malphite R now.
She is a safe pick. She is a safe pick.
Now she can reflect Talia Wall.
There's one thing I've noticed though from Big Bad Buttercups is I think their composition really wants to try and end the game early, because there's one differential between Big Bad Buttercups and they don't have that much DPS. The Corki is going to be there with the mixed magic and AD damage from passive. Swain has more overtime damage and the burst damage. There's not really any DPS on their team, so they will want to probably try and end the game as quick as possible before that Gnar sends out and Braum. Hey, there you go, I'm back. And Braum get too tanky there. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, I think we're just gonna have to get into game to decide how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
I mean, it really could go either way. But as we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MiniLCS Summer Split Playoffs. We start with the Sweatlord bracket game. That should be one that is a beauty. One team looking to continue their trip in the upper brackets. The other gonna have to fight through the lowers. I will say the second life in that lower bracket is new for MiniLCS, and I'm excited to see what it can bring, but it doesn't mean that either team wants to start out down there. So as we get into it, welcome to the playoffs. These teams have fought so hard to get here, but only one of them can continue their upper bracket vacation. Will it be Lucidity Red, or will it be the Buttercups? Let's find out.
What an intro that was.
I'm so excited for this. I honestly too. I think the lower bracket is a nice addition. Because it means that, hey, like even the best teams have an off day, so it gives you a chance to recover from an off day. But it doesn't mean that either of these teams are going to sit on their laurels and be accepting of that trip to the lower bracket.
Hold on, what's the action going on in mid lane here? Is that going to be an extension from Mel? No. Yeah, I think that's the important
it shouldn't
part.
Be at 1.
This level advantage comes through, but they're both level 2 now. Bot lane seems pretty quiet at the moment. Both teams just trying to get that farm up as much as they can. Look up, there's still beef going on in mid lane. Top lane, again, extremely quiet. I'm not expecting a busy top lane. Malphite being... Okay, I'm probably talking too much right now. It looks like there's some beef going on.
No, you're not. You're not at all. I will say, notice the warding. Lucidity Red will be aware that that Yas Raiden is pathing bot, but they did not get a ward onto Parapies, and so he will be unknown. Now, eventually it should be a meeting at the Scuttle Crab where they will find out about each other's presence, but the early game warding just looking better from the side of Lucidity Red, and that is something that is very important to keep an eye on. How do teams operate with their wards? That's an early barrier pop out of Tonarino. Oh my goodness. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these teams handle warding, because I honestly, across the levels, warding is one of the most interesting things to me.
Of course.
Are you doing defensive warding? Are you doing offensive? Are you playing for the info? Things like that. I mean, wards can tell you what's going on. Like this, Courtney's gonna hop over the wall.
3-man pulling.
Oh, the pullback onto 3. The damage is big, but the problem is this king's just gonna be dead. And you're just getting too excited here. I mean, it was a 4 versus 3. They knew it and tried to fight it anyways.
Yeah, I think they saw that the Corki did burn Flash before, burn Barrier already, so they might have had a chance to get him. But it didn't really look like they really had an opportunity. This is already getting heated, and this is exactly what we want to see in this these matches. We don't want to see no kills. We want to see a lot of them. We want to see a bloodbath. And I think so far they're only 3 minutes in, 2-0 as so far for Blue City. It's looking good.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, you got a 1.2k gold lead just off of the 2 kills, and just over ambitious from Yas Raiden, and because he got out and then went back in. And so calls so far just not quite right. The
Must have been some sort of
Prismatic does have. Well, I don't think it was a miscommunication. The call was to go in, but they just made a bad call. And unfortunately, sometimes that happens. You get a little overambitious.
No, of course. And I think at the same time, the Corki just going over the wall straight away probably was just a unexpected moment from just in general. So they thought that they could potentially pick him off, even if it was a 4v3. They think they probably would have been able to do it quickly. Of course, the cavalry were coming in straight away. That's what happens. Top lane is looking pretty interesting. That's an ignite. There we go. And that is Dr. Duck getting a kill against Nart. See, I'm a bit surprised by this out of anything, because Malphite plays in top lane tend to be very quiet. They're not very aggressive. And it just appears that it was the perfect one. But he is sitting on the Bramble Vest as well. He does have an advantage. And now we go back to where we were. Now here's the replay of what's going on. So the Corki just goes with W straight in. Now Swain is coming through, and all of a sudden now it's too late. A 3-man pull-in, they believe they have an advantage. As you can see, the Mels just comes in and bursts them down within a brief moment. Nautilus just has to play his own role and just die for the team. And then this was what was happening over in top lane. Both players on 4 HP, and as you can just see, the Malphite just beating the shit out of the Gnar. Unexpected sort of playstyle, but
yeah, that's just great brush usage. Yeah, Dr. Duck used the brush perfectly in order to make it so it's harder to hit him for the lower ranks. That's why he threw the ward in the middle bush, is because you can duck in and out of the brush, make it harder to auto you, because obviously you can't come in the brush. And so he throws down the ward to make sure he can keep hitting shit shiny, and then he just got him. But in the bot lane, more trading, very aggressive so far from the bot laners. Maybe not what you want when you know there's Jazz down here, and they may actually be able to pick up a kill. No, and they know they can't go forward because they know Parapies has to be around.
Parapies might have been spotted on the ward, and actually they're going for the dive right now. Q is wasted.
And you know, it goes in, but it's just a miscalculation.
I think that he's gone in a little bit too late, as you can just see. Yeah, there we go. A mismatch with a clean kill on there, still going for the dive. That's 2. Can they make it through? 2v1, and the Corki gets a kill. Mel's just getting ran down. Ultimate comes down, and Mel's probably just going to die here. Nah.
A great flash, and the ultimate just barely not coming through. They want another onto the Corki. They're not going to find it due to the wave state, but maybe you can have a look at this. But Prismatic Fire and got a kill, and he got a kill onto Mismatch. Unfortunately, one of the kills did go over to, but just a great job to play as a team, buy time for Mismatch to get down there, and the roam worked out perfectly.
Perfect timing from Mismatch just coming down as well, considering there was a ward within the bush they didn't expect. But top lane, what is coming on right now, we have Beef 2.0. Ultimate is now used. Here comes the angry monster, and is nope. Dr. Duck, is he going to fight through? Looks like this is an interesting one. Who's going to take it? Dr. Duck, 1 HP on both sides. They decide to go for it. Nope, playing it safe, respecting each other.
It was just not enough.
Dr. Duck is more than likely going to finish on that wave and reset.
What really hurts for Dr. Duck there is he burned both of his summoners. So Shiny Sluggus will have teleport back in a moment and will have his flash up relatively soon, and it's gonna make it so Dr. Duck has to play a lot safer in lane and will not be able to team fight as well.
Of course, and it's a bit of a it's interesting to go for the ignite, especially when against the Gnar, because obviously look at the teleport that the Gnar has taken, what Shiny Sluggish has taken, and quests are going to be completed at some point soon, so they'll have a double teleport advantage on red side, on blue side, in comparison to Duck, who's only going to have one, and he's just being so aggressive here, not allowing any farm to come through. And yes, Bryden there. And what's going on here? Doesn't look like they can convert into any kills. Yeah, of course. But it doesn't really look like it's traded as much on the side. Perfect hook coming through. Can we convert? Ultimate is coming through from the Prismatic Fire. Prismatic Fire is chasing down Tommy Namari. Can he come through? Zinzao coming in. Perfect timing. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the Corki. Corki's still alive. And he takes the kill. Is this going to be a one for one? Is he going to remain alive? He remains right alive. And that's a double kill for Tonarino. Wow. That was a perfect execution on behalf.
That is just over ambition at its finest, and that is the thing about a Swain. Some Swain players, I watch them pop their ultimate and then they think they're invincible, and then they take things like a 2v1 and they just die because their ultimate it doesn't make them unkillable. But this Malphite aura will come through with the help of the Kayn, and the Kayn ultimate going to be burned as he's under the turret. Malphite just tanking the turret shots for his jungler, but the slowdown makes it a 1-for-1.
Not really too much of a problem for Dr. Duck in this case. He still is ahead, and he's getting that push going through right now. See if he can waste as much and get as much plates as possible, but just looks like he wants to go for a reset. Here's a replay of what happened. You can see the Nautilus getting a perfect hook into the Corki, but Corki is now playing it safe. He's trying to run away, kiting him as much as possible. Here comes the Zinzao, comes in at perfect timing, gets the knock up, and he's able to kite away. And then this is just a crowd control gangbang, and there is no way the Nautilus is going to survive this. Malphite's ultimate comes through. Kayn comes in an ult. However, the tanking of the Malphite does not continue, turning this into a 1-for-1, unfortunately, on behalf of red side. What are your views so far this game?
I mean, right now, Lucidity Red are just playing better. The thing is, I talked about the fact that Dr. Duck wouldn't have his flash while Shiny would, and the flash is why it's a 1-for-1. He was able to get under the turret. The problem is they're going to go in onto the bot side, but they don't know that the rest of the team is going to be here, as the Crescent Guard is going to pop them away, and it pops Mino. And teleport in is not going to be good enough, as Yasraid is just going to go into a grave. Swain is going to be popping the ultimate, and he's almost got the Zinzao, and the Ori is going to use the bot fire and will land the Q, but the problem is the ultimate from the Mel chunks you down so much to where you're alone, but the Swain ultimate is just gonna go in solo, and it doesn't matter! 3v1, and he likes those odds for the double kill!
Just when we were criticizing Prismatic Fire, look what happens there. Absolute slaughter on behalf of red side. What unbelievable play. Just talk to me. What just happened there?
I mean, maybe we can get a replay up, but I mean, Lucidity Red had the advantage, but they overstayed their welcome with Prismatic's ultimate, and due to that factor, I mean, that's the thing. I said that you're not invincible in the Swain ultimate, but you are a threat, and the more members there are, the better it looks. As we watch Mismatch mag dump his combo and whiff it, and I mean, they did so good, but they just overstayed. Right here, it's a good hook engage, and they like these odds because the Xin Zhao's in the area. Pressing guard is great. I mean, the Nautilus is just already dead. Teleport comes in from mismatch, though, and then they get over ambitious. Xin Zhao gets comboed with the charm pull, and then he goes down. Solar flare, the mellow, I forget what it's called, not enough, and then this is just where Swain ultimate can go stupid when you have that many members inside of it. They should have taken the kill, the 2 kills, and just backed off, because when you don't back off, you're just gonna go down. Kane ultimate
and
gonna be used.
Sluggish goes down. It's going to turn into a 1-for-1. Is going to carry on to the fight. Fight's still continuing there. Going under turret is Parapy. He's going for the flash. Flash in is just going to knock him up, and it's going to be a 2-for-1, I believe. If he's going to get the kill, that's nice.
And that just feels good to turn that into a 2-for-1. You thought yet again that you had the gank on top side, and I mean, maybe at this point you just leave the Gnar alone. Disaster strikes every time they go for it, and I mean, the Buttercup, they're making plays, but then every time they're trying to be aggressive and make a play on the map, it just quickly turns against them because of the fact that Parapais has been rotating so well.
And that's the whole thing with Parapais, is Parapais is coming up at the right time on behalf of Usadity, but in this case scenario, Dr. Duck is just continuously just getting a little bit too aggressive. So now it is, like you said, they need to leave the Gnar alone and just focus now on the bottom side. We should expect Duck to actually be roaming a little bit more in this phase. We're now about nearly 15 minutes into the game. But he's deciding really to stay up top lane just to completely shut down Shiny Sluggis's Gnar, prevent any form of broken team fights going into the later game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, it feels like Buttercup should be winning. I mean, they've been making the right plays, but then it's just the counters. And I mean, finally, once they did
going for the dragon.
Play to go their way, it was on a counter. Now, they really shouldn't fight this. They don't have everyone there, but the Xin Zhao's going into the pan. There's no smite!
It's stolen!
No smite! It's just gonna be stolen away. Kane's already gonna be down, but off the backside, the Swain's gonna be popping the ultimate and going onto the Mel. Hook is gonna pull the support away, but this Mel is still in some danger. Flash forward, trying to get him dead. Rest of the team has arrived, though, and suddenly it's a 5v2. Mel's not gonna die yet. Finally, he perishes, but the Swain will go with her. And you just buy so much time that everyone drops for BBB. Malphite up next. Dr. Duck trying to use the ultimate to get out, but he might not be able to, as they're going to chase him under the turret, and they will pick up the kill.
What an insane play that we saw from there. Parapais take a battle captain out of anything. What a steal that was, and it just turns into a 4-for-1. Like, unbelievable trade, first things first, and they just come in at the perfect timing. The dragon was only on about 1,500, 2,000 HP, so they didn't really have much time, and Parapais just jumped in at the perfect time to steal, and the follow-up was just immaculately done.
It really was immaculate, and I mean, why are you taking the Drake without Smite? I know you have 4 members, but that's exactly why you need Smite for it. I mean, Parapais, who jumped over the wall, stood on the dragon, popped Crescent Guard, and got to sit there and auto it until he stole it, which it went down to 1 HP. Like, that is crazy work. And now on the bot side, the Swain ultimate is going to be popping over on the Rift Herald. There's going to be a fight, and this game's in a lot of danger. He's going to have to get out of the pit. Doesn't have a way over yet, but he finally does. Over back at the bottom side, Shiny Sluggish is going to be in some danger, but the turret keeping Prismatic Fire at bay, and this game has gone right back in for the steal, but you just went in too early. What's going on? He just signs his death warrants and says, I don't feel like surviving.
And this is clean play. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Flash comes in at the wrong timing, but it does not look like this match can get out of there. And Faknoon gets the kill. Meanwhile, in the boss side, Prismatic Fire and Shiny Sluggers are still going at it. Looks like both players are going to just throw in the towel there. But hold on a second. Minox is just coming in at the perfect timing. Perfect ultimate. Hooking is looking good. But, you know, Biggest Slugness wants to keep going. Trying to get the kill if he can. It's like it's going to take it. It looks like it is an awkward one. He still takes the kill. But will he get out alive? It does not look like it. If he does, then this is absolutely godlike. Nope.
Flash Hook will finally end him, but Yas Raiden cannot quite land the ability there, and Yas Raiden's gonna be in trouble again as Liv Sluston has tracked him down, tracked him to a grave. Blast Cone, and this Kane pick has just not worked out. 2 and 7, and it has just not been able to do anything here.
That's the thing. It's just about not letting that Kane snowball in any way. Yas Raiden had a nice early start, but just felt like all the shenanigans going on with Shiny Sluggers and Dr. Duck kind of set him back just a little bit. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, Tonemaru is actually looking to potentially kill this Ahri. Mismatch is still sitting on lots of mana, and still is able to get out. The ultimate is still available if she wants a cheap escape.
I mean, this game has just been, it's been chaotic, and I mean, here's the Drake play again. Just no smite on
1 HP, Assault all together as well.
And then the Corki comes over the wall and helps finish things off, and the fight is just so split. I mean, your ADC is letting your jungler get cooked as he's looking for the mid laner, but look how dedicated he is. I mean, he finally does get the kill, congratulations, but at what cost? It costs the rest of the team.
Massive, massive play right here. It's just it's unbelievable just how they flip the switch altogether. The confidence to just dive into the dragon. That's what we see was going on with the Rift Herald over in the top side over here as well. And of course, this match getting ran down again. Wrong place at the wrong time.
He teleported in, that's what happened on it, and then here the Nautilus all gonna be used, and I mean, just the flash Gnar response, absolutely beautiful. And I mean, this is just not coordinated between ADC and support.
It's a bit. It's a bit of a harder matchup when playing the Swain rather than playing just a standard ADC in general, because you have to play in a way that you're not focused on burst DPS with just auto attacks, because it's not really any of that. But we're going into near dragon fight. It looks like Gustafsson is going to be making initiation with him, and all of a sudden Parapise is just going to jump in. Are they going to just disengage? It looks like it. They might just start dragon and try and bait into a fight.
And the thing is, they're just going to be pushed out of this. They really cannot push up, but they want to fight for this anyways. Teleports are going to be coming in, and there goes the support, but he's already going to be in a lot of danger. Now the Swain ultimate's going to be popped, and on the backside, the Gnar's going for the R, but he's going to be able to survive for now. The Crystal Guard's going to be popped, and now you just see that everyone's being pushed back. The Swain ultimate's absolutely massive, but the game is going to have to reverse like the Yas Raiden cannot get out of there. The Gnar is massive! 3 into the wall! Body's going to drop! Might be on the other side, no! It's a flash response from Dr. Duck, but he's going to go down in response. Double kill for the Mel! Triple kill for the Mel! And their health bars are just live baits!
That is the first ace that we have seen of this series. What an unbelievable play on behalf. And they just to be able to take the dragon straight after only losing one member and wiping out the entire team. Absolutely outstanding performance there. as the teleports were coming in on both sides, teleporting into weird angles. The Present Strike comes through perfectly, as does the Swain ultimate. Just being able to hold that for such a long period of time, dealing in so much DPS is fantastic. But just walking straight into the Corki, who's just cutting him back so perfectly and able to just wash him up. Perfect Gnar ultimate from blue side at the same time. This is just incredible play. How much time was just bought there? And unfortunately,
that's the limitation of the Swain right there. The problem with Swain is that he does have some range, but he can be a bit shorter ranged compared to other ADCs or mages. And right there you saw, I mean, you just have a Gnar on no HP. He looks so delicious and you just don't have the range for it. And now speaking of range, yes, Raiden is going to be in range of the Xinjiang. He's going to be able to pop the Crescent Guard and he's going to knock him back over the wall. Kane ultimate going to be used, but he's just taking him into the rest of the team as the teamer's just going to burst him down. This Kane pick has been a disaster so far, and it continues to be one, and the Baron will be started up.
It's coming for perfect time for Shiny Sluggish. The Gnar bar is full, and we're going to see it. Stun misses. We're going to see a Gnar ultimate. Gnar ultimate push in. That's 3 full push in, and it looks like we're going back to square one. Back to the river you go. Nautilus is going to be shredded down, and that again is what they're capable of. Incredible gameplay from on behalf. That is fantastic play, and the Baron is just going to drop. Mismatch is just going to take the mid lane. I mean, this is just, it's what happened. What happens when you don't respect the Gnar bar?
I don't know why they're trying to fight it. I don't know why Mismatch is looking for something. I mean, at that point, you've lost your jungler. You just need to let it go, and bad turns to worse as they wanted a bit more. But right here, I mean, he's just spotted on a ward, and I mean, that's not your jungle, man. And that's their territory now. And this is what I was talking about with the vision, and just no vision. They didn't know anyone was there. The entire top side jungle for the red side is warded, and then here, I mean, they hook onto the Gnar bar. Gnar ultimate pushes 2 back, and Swain, I mean, it doesn't matter that you have your ultimate, you're just dead. What's even crazier is their defenses were shredded from the Baron, and they still couldn't produce enough damage. Back in alive time, and this Dr. Duck under fire.
Tonarino's burst damage is really coming through now, and this is what I was talking about with the Corki, just being able to have both that in mid lane right now. We're seeing a fight. Kane's ultimate just came onto the Corki, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get anything. Flash hook doesn't work. And it's aggressive gameplay from Buttercups. It's just not working for them. You have to just be able to stay in your place, because they've got such a full advantage that they can just take whatever turret they want, look to defend elsewhere, and it still seems like they just can't do that.
Yeah, and I mean, now they're trying to fight for this turret, and the damage is going to be coming through, but the problem is it's just not enough. Rest of the team is going to be there to help out, and yes, Raiden does pick up on a kill on the pair of pies, but it's going to be in exchange for Dr. Duck, and on the backside, Swain's in trouble, and the Mel is just working out perfectly. 11-3, and he is the danger as he drops 2 of them, and this should be the game right here. Mismatch was pushing in for the top side inhibitor down the other way, but you left the back door open to your house, and the home invaders are coming through, and they are taking everything. Lucidity Red will win the first game.
Lucidity Red, I mean, what a performance from them this match, this game. Obviously, it's only game 1. Buttercups are still in this, but that execution from Lucidity Red was just unbelievable. The Mel that game was terrifying. And I think this is why he wanted to go for that pick. Mel's burst being unbelievable, the executions being so easy at the same time, and the impact of this match, I was not expecting it to be as high as it actually was.
Yeah, I mean, it was just beautifully piloted. I mean, the roams were great, and it was just so disruptive towards everything But now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have to send it to a break. We will see you all in a little bit.
are
Welcome back.
What a game one!
I just watched.
I did not see that coming
game.
through. That was insane. That was insane from Sweatlords. I was not expecting this sort of gameplay at this level.
Yeah, that was a game of our lives. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Aaron, I think some of the Weenie Hut Junior gameplay sneaked in. You said I was free from that. Confusing plays. I need to see better communication out of the side of Buttercups. There were just way too many times where the Kane is going in solo, the rest of the team's backing away. We're fighting a war on 2-3 fronts. Like, I need to see better teamwork. I think if this one's going to turn around. And speaking of teamwork, we can pull up some of the stats to see how the teams did work in that game one. As, I mean, the damage, obviously, the Swain had a lot of damage, but not a lot of impact.
It was more to do with the
there were some
AoE style from the ultimate, and he had a lot of bursts from Q.
Yeah.
But it was the AoE that was mainly from ultimate, just dealing the damage over time. But the goal difference...
The fact that the Ahri had as much damage as the Kane is shocking to me.
Yeah, and you know, it was a very quiet game for the Kane. And this is the sort of aspect where how Kane struggle in the early game. They have to try and shut the game down very early, otherwise they won't get into that snowball position. And it looked like he wanted Red Kane this game, and it just looked like Lucinia Red just weren't willing to give over anything. Excellent play on their side, and players with the Zinzao was insane. The confidence was unreal. Just having the ability to just go like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to dive in knowing that I've got the advantage. The numbers were correct. He was able to take them down by enough time for the rest of the team to be able to come in, especially on that dragon pick, when they tried to pick off the dragon. And I'm wondering what they're going to do going into game 2 now. Because Buttercups, from judging by the game 1, they are in a lot of trouble, because if they keep up like this, they're going down into that lower bracket.
Yeah. That was rough. We really do need to see a big turnaround if this game is to end out differently. But let's take a look at the draft and see what the game plan is to turn this one around. We see now the sides did swap, but that's Cho'Gath top, and no, I think that's Cho'Gath jungle.
Yeah.
Maokai jungle. Oh, I'm not a fan of Maokai jungle.
I'm curious though. No ADC in bot side. Is this going to be a Pantheon Cho'Gath bot lane?
Oh, Lord. I didn't even spot the jungle behind my microphone. I think this is Cho'Gath mid and Talia ADC with Pantheon support, I would guess.
Yeah, it looks about right.
I favor Lucidity's draft here. I didn't even spot the draft. My microphone was blocking it. I blame the microphone. Just got a new microphone, trying to figure out where to put it on my desk. But the thing is, I'm not a big fan of Maokai jungle. I think he just has a severe damage problem. But in this comp, it works fine because they do need a hard, dedicated tank. I like the Rel with the Zarya, the Hei, the Jace. I mean, this is a poke-heavy comp. And like, as soon as you try to get in range to stop their poke, you have a Maokai ult, you have a Magnet Storm, and things like that. I honestly do not see Buttercups having a fun time here with the 4 frontline comp into poke, because what it means is you don't have a lot of members staying safe from that poke.
The Cho'Gath Scream as well, you'd think is a great ability to have against Lucidity Red, but the distance that they can keep with the Hui, with the Jace, and just be able to just sit back and just say, you know what, no, you're not even going to silence me, you're not going to touch me. There's a big lack of range on the side of Buttercups. And I think, yeah, you're right. I do favor Lucidity Reds' their composition a lot more. It does look like they're going to focus in the early game with the Jace, being able to be like an ultimate lane bully into the Ornn. And then Zeri's late game, we've seen her damage, we've seen her capabilities. It's going to be a very, very interesting game going into game 2.
Definitely will be, and I'm enticed to see how this turns out. So let's get into the game. Let's not waste any time, and let's see, can the Buttercups fight back here, or is it gonna be Lucidity Red moving on to the next round of playoffs? Only one way to find out. Let's get into it. Man, I gotta ask you, what's your highlight lane here?
Ooh, I think so far it has to just be the bot lane. Last game, it felt like early game was very back and forth, and I like to see that back and forth kind of League of Legends, rather than it just be so dominated by one side, especially in the early game. I mean, obviously, if you're playing, it's a bit of a different story, but just to be a caster and be able to see an interesting bot side, it's more than what we'd want. But that bot side, I really want to see what Tonarino is going to be able to do this game on that Zeri. How about you? What was yours?
Oh, I think it's I think it's really easy to say the bot side. I think the bot side will be the most important, but what I'm especially going to look at is this mid lane matchup, because Faknoon he had such a big game on the Mel, and I really need to see Mismatch contain him more in the early game, whether that's stopping roams, whether that's not giving over kills, things like that, especially because this Cho'Gath can be a really hit or miss pick. And right now, I mean, he's going to be absolutely bullied in lane. But obviously with the feast pressure, I want to see proper feast stacks. I want to see proper rotates, things like that. And Mismatch was the one that kind of kept him in the game last game. So I got to say mid lane.
I think this game as well, I'm not really too sure on runes, to be honest, because you can see Hail of Blades from the Cho'Gath against a Hui who's just going to be able to sit back and relax against you. It doesn't really feel like it was the right option. As you can just see in mid lane.
Sorry, why is it first strike Maokai? Stop! We had a first strike Maokai in Weenie Hut the other day, and there was like flame going around, and I was like, no, it's a thing, it's just not a
See,
good
the
thing.
high rank players are doing it, so why can't I? That's why. Either that, or we're learning off of Weenie Hut's builds, and we're just focusing on them.
Yeah. I gotta go ping. I gotta go ping Sai. Sai got really annoyed at the first strike Maokai yesterday, and to be fair, so did I. But he's like, dude, it's not a thing. I was like, I'm telling you, it is. It's just not a good thing. But what is a good thing is
Sluggus is gonna be fine. Sluggus is gonna be fine there. It's basically a warning from Raiden. Yes, Raiden on the Jarvan needs to look to shut these games down. Perfect stun coming up onto the Zeri. You can see the wall coming through. Perfect jump in, and doesn't look like they're going to be getting anything out of it. It's just a trade. But Zeri forced to pop the potion there as well. But here comes Parapies. And we're seeing first blood on the Maokai that has first strike. Now, first strike Maokai.
Yeah, but he didn't engage that fight.
But he still used first strike.
He didn't engage that fight though, so I don't think it procs. The other thing is he didn't get a lot of hits off, so he doesn't actually get a lot of holds from that.
Forces the flash. Shiny Slugs just has to reset here. I mean, he has nothing, no mana, no HP. Otherwise, we're going to look for a potential dive.
Does have Parapies, though. Yeah, he may try to bait him in.
Yeah, Pies just looks like he's just going to be taking the Gromps for now. Oh, sorry, the Krugs. And just look for a rotate. You can see some pressure coming in from Houston, but it doesn't really look like the Cho'Gath really cares. Like, Mismatch is looking a bit more confident now in comparison to the first three, but it looks like these abilities are starting to come through. Mismatch is going to decide to just stay for the time being, and now she goes for the reset. Can Mismatch do it? Can Mismatch make the Cho'Gath mid work? And my curiosity is what build path we're going to be seeing. We're just going to see a flat AP. We're going to look for a Rod of Ages. We're seeing now a trade in topside, which is converted into nothing. But like I said, are we going to be seeing a Rod of Ages into tank, or are we just going to be going with flat AP? Like, what are we looking for with the Halo Blades? There's just different options on what sort of builds you can go for.
Definitely a variety of options. I would expect this to be I would expect him to build a tank item first and then build something like Malignance. I believe that is how Min Cho'Gath is built. But right now, I mean, he has that early Ruby Crystal. I do believe he is going for the tank item first, because you just need to make sure you're surviving in the lane. But speaking of surviving, the spot side is going to be in some danger. Is this going to be a 3 versus 3 in the flag and drag? No, not going to be used. Actually, he's just going to opt to Q. He finally uses the flag and drag, and he's going to pick up a kill on the pair of pies. Prismatic gets the kill credit, actually, but the problem is the mid laners are here. Mismatch lost track of them, and he's going to punish you. Back Noon with 1 kill and 2 onto Tonorino.
That's not the player you want to give the kills over to. On this area as well, being able to snowball up so quickly. Mismatch, bad timing, not good enough to be able to come to that bot side to support. And Noon come in there at the perfect timing just to be able to help support that and get those kills over to Tonorino. That's not what you want to happen, what you want to happen.
Yeah, this is just... I mean, again, it's just a bad start again for Buttercups, and the play looks like they were turning it around until the mid laners showed up, and Mismatch just lost track of Noon. I don't know if there wasn't comms that he was coming down, or they tried to ego or what, but you gotta keep track of your laning opponent and make sure that Noon is not just getting down there for free.
That's the thing. It's like what you were mentioning, especially this game, and now we're going into from the previous game, and now we're in this game. Look at the wards that are spread out on boss side jungle on behalf of Lucidity Red. They've got full information on everything that's going on, so they don't even need to worry. They can look for another gank and another roam. It doesn't look like Red is getting chased. Is going to be going to bot side, or he's going to be just chilling. He's going to continue to take that dragon, but the vision difference is huge on each side. Here comes the Ornhorn to knock up, and he misses the knock-up. Does Sluggers keep carry on with the kill? He looks like he's going to potentially skate through, and Dr. Duck gets the kill. We're going into the dragon. Perfect. I've lost my voice. Carry on.
Yeah, this is just not going the way Buttercups want it to. I mean, it looked like they had the angle to start, but the problem is the Zeri is going to be able to survive, and the kiting is just gorgeous as they are dragging Mismatch into the mud, into the dirt, and it's just 3 dead bodies for the side of Buttercups on the bot side.
I'll tell you what, just to say, the commentating is difficult when plays are this quick. Games have not been this bloody in this bracket before. And now we're seeing a complete bloodbath. We're going into a replay here where we can see the dragon being taken. It was the start of a good fight, we get the knockback. And then this is where it just turned into a complete fuck fest. Pantheon goes down, Zeri stays alive the entire time, which was unbelievable. And then the Cho'Gath just gets flashed over, Warlock, and this is the kiting potential. Look at the discipline here. To just not overextend, perfect spacing, and with the crowd control coming from the support, it's just it was just easy. I like this rel pick on the side of Lucidity Red. It looks max kill participation. Let's look at that. 8 assists, 1 kill with 7 assists. The difference is just huge.
Yeah, right now, I mean, I knew the rel pick was going to be good, especially as Zeri does like a rel, and here on the top side, some more trading even down the level. The Maokai ultimate going to be used, and the Talia wall will be used defensively to get him out of that sticky situation, and that is what you have to remember when trying to go for the Talia, as they had no hard CC to knock her off her wall.
And that's it as well. Ult for ult as well. The Maokai ultimate going down. Yeah, Maokai ultimate not going down is not really a big problem. The problem is now Prismatic Fire doesn't have an escape tool. Here comes the Ornhorn. Misses again, but actually gets the headbutt. Is he going to be able to get the kill? Doesn't look like Shiny Sluggus is going to be able to make it out alive. Gate is coming through. All he needs is one auto attack. Is going to be able to stay alive. He's running away. Dr. Duck clutches it and gets the kill onto Shiny Sluggus. It didn't look like he was going to get the kill in the first place, Sluggus, but out of everything, good effort to trying to escape. However, back to the graveyard you go. No escape.
Yeah, and right back to the graveyard might be the Zeri for the first time, but no, he's gonna be able to get away yet again. The Talia cooldown's just blocking him, but the problem is the Unraveled Earth is gonna land, and it's gonna land beautifully, and now with the Jarvan Cataclysm coming in, they're gonna pick up a double kill over to Prismatic Fire, which will put them in a much better position in the bot lane.
And this is why I was really interested in the bot side as well. It's just these interesting picks of going for the Talia in the bot side, like going for the Swain in the previous game. She's able to now potentially get a good reset. Time wasted a little bit, just considering she punched them going back a bit too early. But this is exactly what they needed. They needed Prismatic Fire to be able to get some kills and get the gold. The CS in bot lane is actually pretty even as well. The only thing is now Tonarino's sitting on that Storm Rose, so he does have a nice advantage. The Luna's Echo is now picked up.
Pantheon ult. Not going to be able to jump on him with the W yet, but Mismatch did rotate up, so they will secure the kill. But it doesn't go onto the person you wanted to go onto, and this kill is also not going to go onto the person you wanted to go onto. Never mind, Backnoon will pick it up. Great job by the Rel to just wait for the flash over the wall. And the Lucidity Red, I mean, it's only a 1k gold lead, but it feels like they are in full control of this game just about, as Mismatch is going to be caught over the wall. Slam down going to be massive here, and the Zeri is here. Teleport going to be coming in, trying to reinforce his teammate, and the Pantheon is here, but the problem is he's already down. Dr. Duck, you're showing up to nothing, and it's 3-0 on the Ornn, but that's not where you want your gold. And that's why I say this 1.7k gold lead is not actually as big as you think, because all the money's on the Ornn.
Yeah, it's just distributed into a weird way, but I just want to highlight the Cho'Gath here. For just a moment, they look like they wanted to just try and get the pick off, and this is why the screen was good, because you use the silence onto the Jace, and Jace basically just turns into a marshmallow. He can't actually do anything, but it looks like there is a way in for Buttercups, but they have to execute this perfectly, but it doesn't really look like they want to as we're going into a fight. The Ornn is now getting shredded down. Ornn is now taken down, taking the kill. Cho'Gath is still running away. Flag and Drag coming through. Can he get a Cataclysm? Cataclysm goes onto the Jace. Jace goes down. Still have a Maokai ultimate coming through, and he's now stunned. Pantheon is down. It does not look like they're going to be able to pick anyone else off. Are they going to continue going with the fight they do? The wave snare comes them through. Well, there goes Prismatic Fire, and now Yasride has to make an escape. It doesn't really look like he's going to be able to, and that's a double kill for Fucknoon.
Great job by Lucidity
Wow.
Red. The teamwork coming in.
That was again the Faknoon on the way. It didn't look like he was. Sonorino just comes down to bot lane and takes it. Doesn't look like he wants to give Mismatch any opportunity in any capacity. And look at the gold distribution difference here, right? You can see the Hui 7-0 with the 2.7k advantage over the Cho'Gath. You then have Sonorino, who's just on the Zeri, just about 1k gold difference, 5-0. That's how way you want the gold distributed. There's just not enough given to Prismatic Fire. Mismatch is lacking hugely. And if you go to a replay right here, we see the rail jump in. And this, just look at the overall, the communication must be good, the organization, everything working in perfect tangent. Cataclysm is clean, and the Jace goes down, but it still just looks like the Lucidity Red were not wanting to go down without a fight. And that is where the overextension happened. Should have looked back, disrespecting the Hui on there, and that is what happens when you overextend. And then even this happens. Meanwhile, in bot side, of course, you could see that Zeri was not going to let the Cho'Gath get away scot-free.
And we have some more trading in the top side. Shiny trying to buy time for Parapies to come in. He does have the ultimate, but they don't want to burn it. They know it's not quite the angle that they need. But I mean, right now, it's just not a lot for Buttercup to do on the map. They cannot challenge this Rift Herald. The next Drake isn't up for 3 minutes, and it's just there's no even pick opportunities, especially with all the members up there on the Rift Herald, and just no chance to contest. Now they are looking for a dive here on the bot side, but the turret aggro is going to be onto the Pantheon as the ults almost killed Prismatic Fire, and Minos, they will have to walk away. And I mean, luckily the cooldowns were up for Faknoon, so he couldn't snare him one more time in the CC. Otherwise, it would have been a dead Pantheon. But just whatever Buttercup's tried to do is just not going right for them.
See, that could have gone completely pear-shaped as well. Like, huge lack of discipline there, not good enough on behalf of Minos there. He should really have just not tried to contest the Hui, leave the Hui and look to roam immediately, because there's just no way that you can contest a level 12 Hui when you're only level 7. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's not really what you want to see. And I mean, right now you're just looking and you're wondering where's their angle to get back into it. Maybe this is it, as they're going to be able to pick up.
Big shutdown. Cataclysm comes through, keeping the Maokai instead. Perfect flash. They're going to carry on. Maokai trying to keep them underneath. He's still tanking it, and he goes down, and Yes Ryden gets out there alive. Zeri coming through. Can they carry on with the kill? They're going to keep it going. Jar Jar the Fourth is going to stay alive. It doesn't look like Liskus can take them down. And of course, if Tonorino goes in, there's a chance he's going to die. But wait a second, here comes Shiny Sluggish. Can he do anything? Q into perfect gate into Q. They're going to carry on the fight. One might go down. Does not look like Weasel Ball is going to save him. What an escape, but what a poor play from Buttercup. They have many questions to answer.
And just looking around, and how do you stop Tonorino? 5-0-7. Here comes Faknoon's ult, and this is going to be a dead Ornn. Maybe Faknoon does not have the flash to follow, but he will get the flash out of Dr. Duck. But I mean, you just cannot stop this Zway or Zeri. And yes, it's only a 3.5k gold lead. Yes, the Drakes are even, but this is going to be a problem of if you don't kill the members during the fight, you're screwed. The good news is, though, with most of the gold lead being on that way, if you can find him and kill him in a fight, the fight is going to feel a lot better for you. And this is a fight that could feel good. You will get the flash out, but it's for the Cataclysm. And with a massive team fight upcoming here, you just cannot go for it now. You don't have the utility that you need, except Dr. Duck's walking up, and look at the members chasing them into the jungle. They do want to back him down. They want full control of this Drake, and they're already giving it up. And Mismatch is in the top side. No teleport to be heard of. But this is the issue. If you can't find the way, or the Zeri is still an issue, but the good news is the gold's even between the ADCs. But if you can find Faknoon, that fight can actually go your way if you're Buttercups. But that's going to be such a tough task.
Especially with Faknoon's positioning this game, it really feels like Faknoon's just sitting in these positions where he's able to get that massive damage off and not be touched in any capacity. So it's going to be very, very difficult with a huge lack of range that Buttercups have to get Faknoon, to get Tonarina, because of the lack of that mobility. In comparison, yes, Raiden has the flag and drag, but the Cataclysm has such a high cooldown that you only get one opportunity. And if you screw that opportunity up, well, you're going to be waiting for another 2 minutes. And at the same time, look at the objectives that have came up and you've been punished for. The Drake has been taken. Baron is now up. What's going to happen when it comes to Buttercups trying to go, when it comes to Lucidity Red trying to go for the Baron? But as that I was saying all of that, we could just see Shiny Slugness going back to the fountain, maybe getting a little bit too excited there. Of course you're ahead, but you have to remember, keep your discipline.
Speaking of discipline, this is why. If you get too overambitious, Faknoon will punish you, but hold on. Teleport on the backside. Ornor is going to be called early, though, and now Faknoon knows that something's up. Teleport is going to be coming down as the rest of the members trying to get there, but the problem is they found Faknoon. Mismatch is onto him. He can use the feast when he wants to, but he just doesn't get the chance. The Rel is here.
Comes through.
Sluston is going to be able to keep up a life for now, but the Talia wall comes through and is just blocking them all. Flash from Faknoon is going to put him in danger. As the Pantheon ultimate is going to be used, and the autos from the Jarvan are so massive, and it took all that to take 2 members, but they finally get Faknoon. But the cost is the tier 2 in the mid lane, and it might also be a charge on the tier 3. 12 health, and over back here is Shiny Sluggus wants a little bit more, but he's got to be careful. There are still 3 members in the area, but with blinking health bars, is definitely going to be hard to approach this.
That's exactly what I was trying to say before with what happened with Shiny Sluggus before. You can't get up too over-ambitious with what's going on. The way completely out of position, easy 3v1 on that side. Of course, they couldn't take him down straight away, and the cavalry did come through, and they did pay the price for it. But still a decent trade on behalf, but this is what I'm trying to say. You got to keep that discipline. You got to keep your head down and just be able to focus on these team fights. Don't get picked off at awkward places, especially when there's a lack of vision.
You gotta now wonder, do Lucidity feel a little bit of fear after getting a play like that done to them? And because it means that, hey, if Buttercup do find you, that's the thing. If Buttercup find you in a side lane, they got a lot of tools to lock you down and kill you. Between the Pantheon ult, between the Cataclysm, between the Feast, the Talia wall, you got, maybe not the Feast, but you've got a lot of ways to trap someone in. So these side lanes will be more dangerous as the game goes on. And so maybe if you're Faknoon, you do feel a bit more uncomfortable, but the gold lane still does mostly sit with him. So in any 1 versus 1, Faknoon should be the favorite.
at the same time, there's a huge problem on the side of Lucidity Red, and that's the Jace. We're going to be coming up into late game now, and Jace just falls off massively. Like, look, we've got the Cho'Gath, we've got the Horn. They're going to be looking for a dive here onto Dr. Duck. Dr. Duck is still available. He's got so much stats. He's still alive. The cavalry are coming through, but it's only Minos who's still quite underleveled and not going to be able to do anything there. Learning his lesson and just backing off.
And this will result in a chance at the Baron. Buttercups, they kind of need this to get back into it, and the problem is there's just not enough reinforcements for Lucidity. Maokai is going to be here, though. Remember, starting to teleport in, but the thing is, this Baron's down to 4k HP. Maokai is going to opt to go in. It will pick up a kill on the Yas. Raiden is going to be able to smite it, and he gets it away. The rest of the team is going to be coming in now on the backside. Shiny Sluggets is going in, and the thing is, they're just not able to kill him, and the poke is going to be massive. Pantheon burning out, and this area ultimate gonna go massive! Cilia popped the stopwatch, but you're gonna get popped right away! Mismatch sent packing! Dr. Duck sent packing! And Lucidity Red get away with murder!
And these steals, I mean, this is just overstaying your welcome. Just let it go down. You're still technically in the game. Out of anything, you cannot overextend and try and continue trying to look for this Baron. Especially at a game like, look at this. This is where we were at. This is where you leave the Baron. The Weaver's Wall is good, but they're overstaying, giving a moment just for the Maokai to come in. Good steal from the Maokai. Got so much HP. Doesn't stay because of the feast, but out of everything, the timing on the side of Lucidity Red to just come in and pick them off one by one. Very close there on behalf of the Zeri.
They just weren't ready. Again, team play not coming through, miscommunications left and right. I mean, I literally just watched a Maokai come in and blow up a Jarvan. I never thought in my life I'd be saying that. Now, he did go for a more damaging Maokai build instead of full tank with the Liandry's Torment, but still, you just can't let him get that. And for Buttercups, it felt like that was their last chance back into the game, and it didn't work out. Liv Sluston, though, he's looking for something. He wants that Shattering Strike with the crash down, but not going to find it right now. But they're just going to push down mid, and this is the thing. How do you stop this? It's a Baron empowered wave, and maybe that's how you stop it. Unraveled is going to be able to land on a Faknoon, and he's almost down. Maokai ultimate going to be his on. Faknoon is alive. And the problem is you cannot go in with the poke, and you will not find anything out of it. It looks like it was their angle. Pantheon ultimate going to be used, but it's just too late to get Faknoon. Remember, it's going to be charging him down, but the problem is you cannot catch up to them. Faknoon is already back with the TP and back at full HP, so there's nothing to be done for Buttercups here in what looks like their angle. Ooh, are we going again?
It looks like
they
they're
want to go again. Crashdown going to be used, and the Magnastorm is going to be onto one of them, and Faknoon has already picked up a kill on the sideline of it. As you saw Prismatic Fire trying to back away, but he didn't go back with his team, so he perishes for it. Now the base is going to start to crack. And it's right now, you just want to get the poke down. This Ornn is full HP. Ultimate still on the table, but the inhibitor is going to be gone by the wayside by the moment the members start to get back, and they will not opt to get overzealous. They will just back up, and Lucidity Red are just running the Rift right now.
All these objectives that they've taken, the turrets there, taking the inhib turret, taking the inhib on top of that, Baron is just, I think, about to wear off. And once that happens, of course, we've got another objective is going to be popping up. Dragon's coming soon, I believe, in another 2 minutes actually. But how do Buttercups make a comeback from this? It only feels like they can delay till the later game, but with how look at the damage dealt in that so far. I mean, it looks like their DPS on Buttercup side is just not high enough. They have to just wait for some serious late game grind. But it doesn't look like Lucidity Red are going to be giving it to them at all. And this is the problem.
they don't want them to even have a chance at it.
There's just too much going on for them. There's just a huge lack of communication, not good enough on behalf of Buttercups, and you would have thought there would have been some sort of change up going from that game one. It just feels like it's rinse and repeat, but I can't take anything away from Lucidity Red because their execution on these team fights have been immaculate.
Yeah, and with the 6k gold lead, you really can't go wrong here. The only gold lead now is in the support role for Buttercup. As you see that the Jace finally got that gold lead back in his favor. And with a minute until that soul point, I mean, you cannot let a Mountain Soul go over. It feels like this is going to be the final fight here, or at least the final chance for Buttercups to get back into it. But the problem is, you can see they just don't have vision. They want to back for a couple more items, but this is that final push. Mismatch and Shiny Sluggish are on the top side, but they do have teleport. 30 seconds until the Drake. You are called to the dinner table and you must come eat your meal, or they could opt to give this up. Yes, Raiden is just backing. I think they've made the call to give up on this, but no, it's gonna be a bait. They're gonna be in the jungle. Yes, Raiden is standing around. Parapies is going to find the scout report onto him, and they know where he's at. Here goes the members. Teleport starting to come in. Final fight here. And this fight will determine, do Buttercups have a chance to push this to a game 3? Mismatch is going to be massive in that front line, and quite literally. But you have to go through all that poke, and you have a member at half HP. Yes, Raiden is almost dead, and the Drake is close to dead. Maokai ultimate going to be used. That's the go button. Mismatch is going to be on the side, trying to hold them back for now, but the Orange in the front line, and there goes the Pantheon support. He's going to use the shield, but he's already going to be down. The Orange on the two of them now. Look at the flank, and flank and drag's going to be massive, and the Cataclysm on the backside is going to isolate this fight, but your teammates are already down. In fact, they're going absolutely massive. Shiny Sluggish will be dropped, but it is Yasmin who's down. Zeri ultimate going to be used. Stopwatch will keep him alive for just a little bit longer, but it doesn't matter. You can delay, but you can only delay the inevitable. Lucidity Red will move on in playoffs through the upper bracket.
Outstanding play from that. Outstanding play. And it is all over. Lucidity Red with an insane performance there. Of course, Buttercup still have an advantage in being able to stay in the lower bracket, but they have so many questions to answer. Because they know themselves they've more than likely got so much more capability to do better in these sorts of fights, but the lack of communication, the lack of vision, having audacity to just jump into these fights with a lack of resources, a lack of ultimate, lack of summoner spells, this shot calling's just not working this game. Didn't work this game and didn't work this series. So if they want to proceed progress into the tournament, they have to answer those questions and definitely do well, do a lot of practicing to realize their mistakes. But look at the gold difference. Can you see any bit of blue there at all? I don't think you can. Pure
it's
dominance
in the top
from
left next to
Red.
damage dealt. That's the only place I see blue.
That is pure dominance. That's basically what Lucidity Red's message was this game, is just to dominate. And I was worried about the Jace going into the late game thinking, well, the damage is going to probably fall off. But he didn't give the Jarvan a single chance. The burst damage from a distance, Fuck Moon on the Hui as well, positioning perfect. Able to get a touch on the Hui? Not really. Yes, Farknu did get a little bit excited, but to be fair, when you've got a lead so high, I would probably be doing the same, so I can't complain.
Fair enough. I mean, speaking of Farknu, clear MVP here. Absolute
100%.
Best player on the Rift. I think I also need to give the flowers over to the side of that Zeri, and he just did such a great job. And then for the losing side, I Mismatch did really well today, and yes, there were some misplays, but he was definitely what kept them in the game, in both games, frankly. But unfortunately, it just when push comes to shove, sometimes you break, and that's what happened here. But I think that's about where we're gonna wrap up today. Is there anything else, Aaron? Nope, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on the cast today. It is lovely as always being here, but keep your eyes peeled. We've got a ton more playoff action coming up over the next couple days and weeks. You really did not. It's going to be awesome, and especially with that lower bracket, which is brand new, some teams get to bounce back and try to prove themselves again, so it's going to be interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been your cast Shadow Dweller. Joined alongside me is Mad Misley, and thank you so much to everyone for being here. We hope you all take care and have a great night.
Thank you very much.